Right guys, this weekend we've got Nonito Donaire going up against Toshiaki Nishioka. This fight is for the IBF and WBO Super Bantamweight titles, but it also has the vacant WBC Diamond Super Bantamweight title on the line. In this fight, I think that Nonito Donaire will win, and I actually think that he gets a stoppage in round 9. Let's look at Nishioka. First of all, a couple of outside factors to consider. He is 36 years of age, and at this low weight he is ageing, and he's also, since he fought Rafael Marquez last year, has been out of the ring for a year, around a year. So make of that what you will. All I will say is a year out of the ring, a year of inactivity, not the best preparation when you're going to go up against a sharp fighter like Nonito Donaire, who in contrast has been rather active recently in his career. Nishioka, he has a good guard, a good defensive guard. This guy's experienced, okay? He's been there, done it. He is experienced. He won't do make any silly moves, won't do anything stupid. He keeps a decent high guard, and he is a simple, straightforward boxer. It's like how I'd like to explain him. When I watch him, I just see a simple, straightforward boxer, a guy who doesn't take unnecessary risks, and a guy who is always involved, either winning the fight or has a close fight. And he's a skilled boxer, don't get me wrong, but I think with age maybe he's slowing down a bit than what he used to be, and I think without his cat-like speed, which he once had, which I do feel has diminished slightly, I think that it's turning him back to more of still at a world level, but not at an outstanding level. He keeps his right hand up pretty well early on in the fight, especially, and this is key because we all know that Nonito Donaire has a very dangerous left hand, so Nishioka has to maintain that right hand and that guard in general. Early on, I'm expecting him, he's a southpaw, Nishioka, I'm expecting him to be cautious, very cautious early on. I'm expecting him to hold the centre of the ring. I think he's good at doing that early in fights, and I'm expecting him to throw a few testing straight left hands out there, straight lefts to the body, straight lefts up top. Start with the body, then move up top. A few jabs just to test the waters, but I think he's going to be cautious early on, rightfully cautious. I think he needs to try and keep a consistent jab, and again, no silly movements early on. You're just going to have to try and hold the centre of the ring, throw some straight left hands off the jab, just to test the waters, keep himself in the fight, and just see how Donaire's looking and reacting. What I see happening is that he will hold the centre of the ring early on, but as the fight goes on, I'm fully expecting Nonito Donaire to start going on the front foot and pushing him back and trying to put a bit more pressure on him. Let's look at Donaire. Like I mentioned, he has a dangerous left hand. We saw what he did to Fernando Montiel early last year, 2011, and he put down Jeffrey Madabula in his last fight with a similar left hand. Really concussive punch he has, and that's very dangerous in this fight. Now, he must keep his punches straight in this fight, I feel. If he starts throwing wide punches and going wild and getting silly, then I think he's going to play into Nishioka's hands. And I don't necessarily feel that Nishioka will hurt him, but I feel that Nishioka can make this fight a lot more closer than it should be if Donaire decides to start throwing wide punches. Donaire needs to keep the jab popping, needs to keep straight punches, start working the body, similar to what I'm saying that Nishioka should do, because both of these guys work off speed, and both of these guys can exploit and expose you if you start throwing wide punches against them and leaving yourself open. So the straight punches for both guys are key. Nonito Donaire must be patient. I think he should start off the fight and not look to pressure Nishioka and push Nishioka back. I actually think he should take a step back, assess the situation, and I actually think that Nonito Donaire perhaps works better when guys hold the centre of the ring with him, because he's very good at counter punching with that left hand. That's where he seems to hurt guys, is with counter punches. So I would actually advise him, if I was his trainer, to not step back, hold the centre, but don't go rushing in and pushing Nishioka back. let Nishioka come to you and see if he makes any early mistakes you can exploit, because Donaire has that power to turn things in a split second. So I'm expecting it to be very much in the centre of the ring to begin with. After the fight progresses a few rounds, if he's not making any inroads, if it's not working and Nishioka seems to be holding his own, then I would ask Nonito Donaire to start pushing forward, using his foot movement, his mobility and his aggression to start pushing Nishioka back and make him a bit more uncomfortable, start making him think, and perhaps lose his concentration for a split second. Now, we all know this is an outside point for Nonito Donaire. Since he had that wonderful stoppage of Fernando Montiel early in 2011, he's had 3 fights since, and he has looked lacklustre in all 3 fights. He's won them by decision, and he's not really looked the same Nonito Donaire we saw against Montiel. But I will say, we did see sparks, particularly in the Mathebula fight, where he caught him with that left hand, and he did show that he has that spark, that little X factor that can just turn the tables in a split second. And it's something that Nishioka really needs to be aware of. I think the difference in this fight, and why I think Donaire will get the stoppage, is I think that later into the fight, Nishioka may be a bit tired and fed up of the pressure and the concentration he has to keep with Nonito Donaire's attack. I think that Nonito Donaire will show Nishioka that yes, you fought world-class opposition and yes, you've been at the top of the game. But I truly believe that Donaire, when he's on form, and even when he's not on form, he still has that split second, that thing inside him, that ability there, that he can just, with a blink of an eye, show his opposition that they can't live with him, like he did with Montiel. Just that spark is, you know, if you've ever, I don't know if you've ever had an accident or something happen to you and it was such a shock that you had no control over the situation and you feel, how the hell did that happen? Well, I think it might be something like that in the 9th round where Donaire just manages to have a split second of brilliance, catches Nishioka and hurts him badly. I'm not sure if he'll be off the one punch or whether he'll follow it up if Nishioka will get back up, but I do feel that Donaire will, around the 9th round, get a stoppage victory. Could happen early on, you know, because if Nishioka makes a mistake early on, like I said, if he's coming onto Donaire and Donaire's sort of holding the centre and not rushing in, then Donaire could get a counter left hand in. But yeah, I think Nonito Donaire gets a stoppage victory. Just be aware, it's a little bold saying that Nonito Donaire is going to win by knockout or stoppage, because Nishioka has only been stopped once in his 4 losses, and that was way back at the start of his career, only after a few fights, and it was over a 4-rounder. So you know, don't really take that into consideration, because that was when he just started out his career, and obviously when you're green, you make mistakes. A lot of guys, really good guys, such as Bernard Hopkins, lost the early fights, and then or 1 or 2 early fights, and then went on to have great careers. So it is a bit bold saying that Donaire's actually going to stop this guy, particularly after Donaire's looked lacklustre against good opponents in his last 3 fights. But I think he turns the tables here. I actually think that he looks good. Maybe it's probably going to be a close fight up until the stoppage. If it goes a distance, if Nishioka, you know, who is a difficult guy to break down, if he doesn't get stopped, I think that Donaire wins a decision regardless, because I think that he'll do enough, and his youth will succeed over Nishioka. So I'm going to leave it there because I'm rambling on. Let me know what you guys think, and do enjoy the fights on the weekend. It's on a really good card. Got Brandon Rios going up against Mike Alvarado as well, which I'm going to drop a video soon for that one. So thanks for watching. This is Box Spread, and I'm out.